Once upon a time, in a cozy little corner of a bustling city, lived a very special mother cat named Whiskers. Whiskers had soft grey fur like the gentle clouds at dawn, and the brightest green eyes you could imagine, twinkling with warmth. She was known among all the neighborhood cats for her exceptional kindness. She had a reputation built over years by acts like sharing her food with stray cats, teaching the younger ones how to find safe spots to nap, and always lending a listening ear to any cat in distress. Whiskers was the one who would groom the old cats when they couldn't reach their own fur, and she'd always meow a comforting purr to cheer up anyone feeling down. Whiskers was not only a friend to all cats, but also the most loving and attentive mother to her beautiful litter of 5 playful kittens. She took great care in nurturing them, teaching them the ways of the world with gentle paws and soft mews. She would spend hours showing them how to pounce on leaves, how to climb trees safely, and even how to hide from the rain. Every night she would curl up with them, purring lullabies that seemed to weave magic into the air, ensuring they slept soundly and dreamed sweet kitten dreams. Her love was evident in the way she would clean them meticulously, making sure each kitten was warm, well-fed, and full of love. One sunny morning, Whiskers gathered her little ones around her in a semicircle under the shade of the old oak tree. There was Patches, a bundle of energy with his black and white spots, always eager to explore and lead the adventures. "I bet there are so many things to chase in the big world out there," he exclaimed, his tail twitching with excitement. Next to him sat Mittens, whose snowy white paws contrasted sharply with her black fur. She was the thinker of the group, always pondering over the mysteries of catnip and the best ways to nap. "I wonder if there are gardens full of flowers we can roll in," she mused, her eyes dreamy. Fluffy, whose fur was so thick it looked like a cloud, was the gentle giant of the litter. He loved nothing more than to be petted and purred so loudly it sounded like a small motor. "Do you think we'll find people who will brush us every day?" he asked, his voice soft and hopeful. Stripe, with her elegant tiger stripes, was the strategist, always planning how to catch the elusive sunbeam or the perfect spot for an ambush. "We should look for places with lots of hiding spots," she suggested with a mischievous grin, her eyes scanning the horizon. And then there was Tiny, the smallest but undeniably the bravest. Despite her size, she had a heart as bold as a lion's, always ready to explore and stand up for her siblings. "I'm not afraid of anything," she declared, puffing up her tiny chest. "I want to see the world, even if it's big." As they chatted, they discovered new things that would interest any kitten. They talked about the thrill of chasing leaves that danced in the autumn wind, the joy of discovering new textures under their paws, and the wonder of the first snowflake. Patches shared his dream of finding a family that would play with them all day, while Mittens was curious about the sounds of birds and how they might learn to mimic them. Fluffy wondered aloud if there were soft cushions in every home, perfect for long, lazy naps, and Stripe was excited at the prospect of climbing trees higher than they ever had before. Tiny, always the optimist, believed that every home they visited would have a windowsill with the best view of the sunset. Whiskers listened to her kittens with pride, their voices mingling in a chorus of hopes and dreams. "Today, my darlings," she purred, "we are going on an adventure to find each of you a loving home where you can explore all these wonders and more." The kittens were excited but a bit scared. "What if no one wants us?" asked Tiny with a quiver in her voice. "Oh, my little ones, everyone will see how special you are," Whiskers reassured them. They set off from their cozy hideaway under the old oak tree, their tiny paws treading lightly on the dewy grass as they ventured into the neighborhood. The world was vast and full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled by their curious eyes. First, they encountered a garden teeming with colorful butterflies. Patches, with his boundless energy, leaped and twirled, trying to catch them. "Look at all these fluttering friends," he exclaimed, his tail swishing wildly. "I bet they're playing a game of tag." Mittens, always thoughtful, observed a small pond where frogs were hopping from lily pad to lily pad. "Imagine if we could leap like that," she pondered aloud, her eyes wide with wonder. "We could explore every corner of this place." They then scampered across a small bridge over a babbling brook, the water cool and inviting. Fluffy, with his luxurious coat, dipped a paw in, giggling at the sensation. "This would be the perfect place for a nap on a hot day," he purred, imagining the peacefulness of the water's lullaby. Stripe, ever the strategist, noticed a bird's nest high in a tree. She calculated the best path to climb up for a closer look, but decided against it, knowing Whiskers would disapprove. "One day, I'll be up there, watching the world from the top," she boasted, her whiskers twitching with ambition. Tiny, with her fearless spirit, led them into a patch of tall grass where they played hide and seek. Each kitten was astounded by the maze-like nature of the grass. "This is like our own little jungle," Tiny declared, her voice muffled by the foliage. After their mini-adventures, they finally approached a house with a big blue door. The garden was vibrant with flowers, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh earth. There, they met a girl named Sophie, who was drawing pictures in her garden. "Look, kittens!" Sophie exclaimed, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the adventurous quintet. Her sketchbook was filled with colourful doodles of animals, and she seemed just as excited to see them as they were to see her garden. Patches, still buzzing from his butterfly chase, jumped right into her drawings as if trying to become part of her art. "Look, kittens!" Sophie exclaimed, her eyes wide with joy as they sparkled with the reflection of the morning sun. She was immediately drawn to Patches, enchanted by his adventurous spirit, especially how he leapt right into her colourful drawings, leaving tiny paw prints on her sketches. "Mum, can we keep him?" she pleaded, her voice filled with both excitement and a sense of responsibility. Her mum, observing the instant bond between Sophie and Patches, smiled warmly. "If we're going to welcome Patches into our home, we must understand the responsibilities," she said thoughtfully. "Kittens need love, yes, but they also need regular meals, a safe place to sleep, and playtime to keep them healthy and happy." Sophie nodded eagerly, her determination shining through. "I promise to take care of Patches," she declared. "I'll make sure he has a cozy bed, fresh water, and food every day. We'll play together, and I'll groom him to keep his fur clean. I'll even learn how to check if he's feeling well." Her words were earnest, and the look in her eyes showed she understood the weight of her promise. Her mom, seeing this commitment, agreed. "Then Patches has found his forever home with us," she said, her heart warmed by her daughter's newfound sense of responsibility. Patches, sensing the love and care he would receive, purred contentedly, rubbing his head against Sophie's leg, sealing the bond between them. This moment marked the beginning of a new chapter for Patches, filled with adventures, yes, but also with the security of a loving home where he would be well cared for. Next, they came to a house with a bright red roof where the sound of joyful laughter spilled out into the street. Inside, two brothers, Jake and Sam, were in the midst of an epic pillow fight, their laughter echoing through the rooms. Mittens, with her graceful jump and the agility of a seasoned acrobat, landed right in the middle of their game, her white paws contrasting beautifully against the colourful pillows. Jake, the older of the two, was captivated by Mittens' elegance and the way she moved with such precision, turning their game into a ballet of sorts. "Who knew a cat could make pillow fighting look so cool?" he chuckled, admiring how Mittens dodged and weaved through the flying pillows with a dancer's grace. Sam, on the other hand, was always a bit shy, preferring quiet activities over boisterous play. He was immediately drawn to Mittens' calm and affectionate nature. She didn't just jump into their game, she also settled down beside Sam, purring softly, offering the comfort of a warm cuddle when the excitement waned. This gentle companionship was exactly what Sam needed to feel more at ease. He found in Mittens a friend who understood the value of quiet moments and the comfort of a soft touch. Their parents, watching from the doorway, saw how Mittens had become the missing piece in their son's puzzle of friendship. They noticed how Jake's laughter was brighter with Mittens around, and how Sam's confidence grew with each purr and cuddle. Seeing this bond, they decided Mittens would be perfect for their family, bringing joy, comfort, and a new layer of companionship to their household. As they wandered further, they arrived at a house where a little girl named Lily was reading stories to her toys. Fluffy, with his fluffy fur, cuddled up beside her, listening intently to her tales. Lily's heart melted, and she knew Fluffy would be a wonderful addition to her storytelling sessions. Her parents agreed, seeing Fluffy's gentle nature. Stripe found her home when they visited a house with a vast green backyard, where the air was filled with the scent of adventure. There, a boy named Leo was deeply immersed in practicing for a school play, his imagination turning him into a fierce dragon with mighty roars and dramatic poses. Stripe, with her brave and spirited nature, couldn't resist joining the spectacle. She pranced around Leo, her elegant tiger stripes almost shimmering as she darted between his legs, leaped over his tail-like scarf, and playfully batted at his makeshift wings. Her agility and quick thinking turned his solitary rehearsal into an interactive performance. Leo couldn't help but laugh at Stripe's antics, her presence adding an unexpected layer of fun and creativity to his practice. "She's like a mini dragon's sidekick," he exclaimed, delighted by her boldness and the way she seemed to understand the rhythm of his performance. Stripe was drawn to Leo's vivid imagination and the way he transformed the ordinary into something magical. She loved the challenge of keeping up with his movements, the thrill of the chase, and the joy of being part of his creative world. Leo, in return, appreciated how Stripe inspired him to think of new ways to act out his character, her playful energy fueling his creativity. Leo's parents, watching from the patio, saw how Stripe not only encouraged Leo's creativity, but also brought out a sense of playfulness that was infectious. They recognized the bond forming before their eyes, one that was based on mutual respect for each other's energy and imagination. Seeing this, they decided that Stripe would be the perfect addition to their family, adding not just companionship, but also a spark of inspiration to their lives. Finally, there was Tiny, the smallest but no less spirited than her siblings. She had watched with wide, curious eyes as each of her littermates found their perfect matches, her heart swelling with both pride and a hint of longing. Their journey led them to a small, cozy apartment where Emma lived with her grandma. The windows were open, letting in the soft light of the afternoon sun, and there sat Emma, looking out with a hint of loneliness in her eyes. Tiny, with her innate sense for where she was needed, scampered up to the window, her tiny paws making almost no sound. She saw the sadness in Emma's eyes and knew this was where she was meant to be. With a grace that belied her small size, Tiny climbed onto Emma's lap, her purrs coming out like the gentlest of lullabies. Emma, who had been lost in her thoughts, was startled at first. Then her face softened into a radiant smile. "Hello, little one," she whispered, her loneliness melting away as Tiny nestled closer, providing warmth and companionship. Emma was drawn to Tiny's bravery and the way she seemed to understand and comfort her in her quiet moments. Emma's grandma, witnessing this instant bond, felt her heart warm. "She's brought such light into your eyes," she observed, seeing how Tiny had not only cheered up Emma, but also filled their home with life and love. Understanding the depth of this connection, she welcomed Tiny into their lives, recognizing her as the perfect companion for her granddaughter. Just as Patches had found joy through creativity, Mittens through gentle companionship, and Stripe through adventurous play, Tiny found her place by filling an emotional need, bringing comfort and happiness to Emma's life. And so, with her siblings, Tiny too had discovered a home where she was cherished, her small size never diminishing the immense joy she brought. Whiskers, watching all her kittens find love and happiness, felt her heart swell with pride and love. She knew they would always remember their adventures together. And so, with a heart swelling with joy and pride, Whiskers returned to her cozy nook beneath the old oak tree, knowing her kittens were nestled in the best of hands. As she settled into the familiar spot, her mind danced with memories of her loving family. There were her kittens, each finding happiness in their new homes, but also the memories of her own family. A gentle Tom named Shadow, who had shared many sunsets with her, and her own mother, Whisper, who had taught her the ways of love and care. The oak tree had been the backdrop to countless moments of joy. Whiskers whispered, "Until we meet again, my dear ones." Her voice carried a mix of farewell and hope, knowing that the bonds they shared would never truly fade. And in their new homes, each kitten dreamed of their mother, knowing they were loved, just as they loved her back.